In today's video, I will show you some of the best meta weapons you can currently use in GTA Online. I will be listing these weapons into 3 tiers, B tier being the worst, A tier being the second best, and the S tier being the best of the best. Just remember, this is my opinion, and I would even argue that most of these weapons can be completely interchangeable with each other in the different tiers. To begin in the B tier, this will be a very controversial option, but we are starting things off very strong with the minigun. Most people would say that the minigun is S tier, and I usually would agree with this straight away. The only real downside to the minigun is the weight, as when using this, it will slow you down a lot. The benefits of the minigun is that it obviously does shoot very fast, and does not need to reload, making this by far one of the best weapons in the game for destroying helis, and almost every other vehicle. Another downside of the minigun is the level requirement. Unless you guys buy the DLC gun called the Widowmaker, you'll have to get to rank 120. Along with this, the minigun does take a small amount of time to shoot, which could potentially be a disadvantage, especially in a PvP situation. You will just have to time it right. For the second weapon that we have in the B tier, this will also be another controversial option, and this will be the RPG. The RPG is just ideal for taking out a lot of enemies at once, especially if these enemies are grouped together. It is also ideal at taking out a lot of vehicles, although it might be a little bit harder to hit helis because it does not have any lock-on capabilities. The only main downside of the RPG is that it is not very useful in close combat situations. You have to be extremely careful with the blast radius, but like I mentioned at the start of this video, I still think that the B tier weapons are still very usable, and if you have the chance to get both of these weapons, I definitely recommend them. Another B tier weapon is the Pump Shotgun MK2. This weapon has lower damage output, but the biggest benefit of the Pump Shotgun MK2 will be its explosive rounds, but this is also a downside because you actually need to unlock this through the bunker with its research. So if you do not have any bunker research at all, you will not be able to get the explosive rounds for quite some time. But if you do have the explosive rounds unlocked, this will make the Pump Shotgun MK2 by far one of the better weapons, and it should be able to destroy pretty much almost any vehicle with ease, along with deleting groups of enemies. Because this is a Mark II weapon, you will need to go over to a weapon workshop. If you guys do not have any businesses that have one of these things, I would actually suggest going over to the Freak Shop, and in here you can then find a weapon workshop. B tier weapon, we have the Heavy Revolver MK2. Now this also runs into the exact same issue as the Pump Shotgun MK2, and that is that you need to have the hollow point rounds, or any of the other rounds, for example armor piercing, to make the MK2 revolver more effective. Without this, it is kind of not that good. On my main Xbox account, I always use the hollow point rounds and the compensator, and for some reason it just makes the MK2 revolver absolutely busted. Another downside to the MK2 revolver is how slow it reloads. It will take quite a long time to reload it, unless you do the weapon swap glitch to reload your ammo. Altogether, not a bad weapon by any means. Even without the ammunition types, it can still hold up against some stronger enemies, especially against the juggernauts that you might find in different survivals and stuff. And I would say it is actually worth having in your inventory, because you can also use it as a drive-by weapon. And speaking of drive-by weapons, we have the AP pistol as our last B tier weapon. Now this unfortunately does not have any Mark II upgrades. I really wish that Rockstar did this. The biggest benefit of the AP pistol is that it can be shot out of a vehicle as a drive-by weapon, just like the Heavy Revolver MK2. But in my opinion, I think the AP pistol is a much better drive-by weapon. I would probably say it is up there with the best. It has some great accuracy, and with the extended clip, you can shoot 36 rounds in total. It also shoots extremely fast as well, so also a great option for different missions. And the best part about the AP pistol is the rank unlock. The rank unlock for the AP pistol is rank 33, so you're honestly really low, and for this type of weapon I would 100% recommend trying to get this. Onto the A tier weapons, we are starting things off with the Heavy Sniper MK2. The Heavy Sniper MK2 is by far the best weapon from range. It also has some of the best damage output, but one of the major disadvantages of the Heavy Sniper MK2 is first of all how fast the gun shoots, and because of its fire rate, it can be kind of difficult sometimes to hit your shots, or at least extremely punishing if you guys miss a shot. But if you get some practice with this weapon and use it in PvP situations, you can become so lethal with this weapon. Along with this, the Heavy Sniper MK2 can also have the explosive rounds ammunition, and if this ammo type is paired with the range of the Heavy Sniper MK2, you can completely destroy anything in your path. The next A tier weapon that we have is the Assault Shotgun. This shotgun is incredible even without any Mark II upgrades or anything. I can sort of understand why Rockstar did not add any Mark II support for this weapon, because it would be extremely overpowered. Another benefit of the Assault Shotgun is its unlock rank, which is rank 37, and every time I make a new G tier online character, I always try and rush to get to level 37 to unlock this. I also suggest putting on the extended mags so that you guys can have a massive 32 rounds instead of 8 shells. Honestly, like I've said before in this video already, I think this is definitely one of the weapons that can be interchanged with the top tier. Now, of course, the Assault Shotgun's only downside really is its range, but even then, the range can sometimes extend to mid-range fights. It really just depends. But for any close combat situations, I would say that the Assault Shotgun is probably the best option. For the next A tier weapon, we have the Service Carbine. Now, from all of the weapons on this list, the Service Carbine is one of the newest. Similar to the Assault Shotgun, I think that this weapon can be in the S tier. It really comes down to your personal preference. The benefits of the Service Carbine is just how fast it shoots with its damage, but with these two factors, it will make the rifle a little less accurate from range, especially if you guys are continuously firing this. I have used the Service Carbine since it pretty much got released, and I still think that this can be in the S tier sometimes. The only downside that I can really say about the Service Carbine is the price, and that is only if you guys do not get it from the crime scene events. If I remember, the price of the Service Carbine ammunition is around $400,000, so definitely not cheap, but this will not have any Mark II upgrades, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. And for the final A tier weapon, I decided to go for the grenade launcher. The reason I put this here is because you guys can actually spam this behind cover. So for example, in this clip here, you guys can see that I can just continuously spam the grenade launcher, and this is actually really overpowered. It can also really help you guys in all of these different types of missions. The grenade launcher, unlike the RPG, can be fired over multiple buildings. It can of course be fired directly at vehicles as well. I think this is just a great choice of weapon. And now at long last, we are into the S tier weapons, and we will be starting things off with the Carbine Rifle MK2. Now, for a long time in GTA Online, I did not really rate the Carbine Rifle MK2, but after trying the Carbine Rifle MK2 again, I honestly think this is by far one of the best weapons in the game. It's just super accurate, it has a really good fire rate, and good damage output. And because of these things, I think that the Carbine Rifle MK2 can be pretty much used in every situation. I would also suggest using the Special Carbine MK2 as well. Both of these weapons have some really similar stats, and they also handle very similar as well. Although I do think that the Special Carbine does shoot a small bit faster, but I would suggest giving both of the weapons a try and seeing which one you prefer. Another S tier weapon that we have is the Marksman Rifle MK2. This has some great damage overall, and because of the fire rate, it means that you guys can hit more shots, and you really don't get punished if you miss. Another thing that you guys can do with the Marksman Rifle MK2 is put on the holographic sight instead of a scope, and if you play in assisted aim full lobbies, you can then lock on using this weapon, so it might make it a little bit more effective in close situations, and it will still have that really good range. And for the final S tier weapon that we have, it will be the Combat MG MK2. In my opinion, the Combat MG MK2 is a must-have weapon in GTA Online. It has a really fast fire rate, especially the first few bullets, and paired with this, it also deals a ton of damage. The first few shots of the Combat MG MK2 also seem to have some great accuracy, making it one of the best weapons from range. And then of course, if you have the extended mags, you can have up to 200 rounds in total, so a great weapon for wiping a bunch of enemies. So yeah guys, that will be all of the meta weapons. Make sure that you guys leave a comment down below and let me know what I missed. For the most part, the weapons in GTA Online come down to personal preference, so I would always suggest trying all of the weapons and seeing which ones you prefer the most. But anyways guys, if you went on to enjoy this video or found it useful in some way, shape or form, make sure to leave a like. I really appreciate your support, and if you are new here, subscribe and hit that bell icon to never miss a video. A huge shout out to this channel member, and finally guys, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.